Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about teaching pronunciation to children. My partners are Daniel Echeverri, Maria Vega, Ani Martinez, and my name is Natalia Villa.
Okay, well, first talking about the pronunciation importance, it's important to mention that this is one of the most important aspects of thinking English as a foreign language. Although grammar and vocabulary are fundamental, but good pronunciation allows the student to communicate more clearly and effectively, and so pronunciation is a fundamental aspect of English language instruction. And good pronunciation improve effective communication and with English speakers, which can beneficially both works, academics and works. So correct pronunciation also allows for better listening comprehension in the students that's not know how to pronounce correctly. He or she will have difficulty understanding words and phrases and pronunciation by speakers of the language. So the teaching of pronunciation should start from the very beginning of the teaching English as a foreign language. It should be an integral component of the course and should be taught systematically. And also, good pronunciation is not achieved overnight. It is a process that requires time, effort, and a lot of practice. So students should have the opportunity to practice their pronunciation in class and also in their free time. Well, it's important that students have access to audiovisuals materials to practice their pronunciation and educational videos and audios that can be used to improve pronunciation. So, in summary, pronunciation is a critical aspect of teaching English as a foreign language. It would be taught systematically, yeah, and with the use of audiovisual materials and technology, and constant practice is essential for improving pronunciation and also consequently for effective communication.
Okay, so we have this for teaching pronunciation, we have to take into account the segmental aspects of pronunciation as well as the suprasegmental aspects of pronunciation. And talking about that, what is a segmental aspect of pronunciation? They are the smallest units of speech that make one word different from another. It's just as simple as the consonants, vowels, and phonemes. All the words are uh, made of consonants and vowels. Also, they are divided into phonemes, right? So, first of all, as future educators, we have to consider that the native speakers of English or different languages do not master all these sounds at the same pace or in the same way. For example, in this table adapted from Linz in 2005, we can see that the English speakers, when they are just 3 years old, they can master the sound P, the sound M, M, W, H, and all the vowels as they are simple sounds. And when they are growing, they can master other sounds, Y, the ING, the SH, the CH, but they don't learn all the pronunciation immediately. So if it is difficult for a native speaker to learn all these vowels or consonants, and it takes 80 years to master the sounds of a language, the sounds of a language, the consonants and the vowels. Just imagine how difficult can it be to teach that to a non-native speaker, and especially to those ones who do not use it every day. So imagine teaching uh, the pronunciation of the word thought, which is the past of think, and it has the theta sound that is not in Spanish language. So it can be difficult for that kid to learn that. So we have to be patient with them, but we have to take this into account also to teach pronunciation. How are words compound, right? So first of all, being patient with them as they are learning. The second part, and which is really important in teaching um, pronunciation, are these suprasegmental aspects. As learning the vowels and learning the consonants seems more natural, something that we do just by listening to someone. The suprasegmental aspects of pronunciation needs more practice, and this can make a speaker sound more natural. And let's take a look on those ones. So first of all, we have the stress of the words. So stress is considered as the power uh, that we give to some syllables, to some phonemes of the words, which can be seen as the as some is what makes sorry. So the stress is what we call in Spanish uh, the accent, el acento, is where is the where's the strong sound of the word, as in the word, for example, captain. The first syllable is stressed, captain. And we can see that the vowel sound is longer than in the second syllable. That is not stressed. So first of all, we have to take that into account when teaching pronunciation, the stress of the words. Because stress of the words in the English language is important, as a different pronunciation or a different stress where it does not supposed to be, um, but it is not supposed to be, it can change totally the meaning of the word. For example, and it happens pretty often with some verbs that are also nouns, as in the verb present, to present something. While if you say present, it's a gift, it's something different. So we have to take that into account. The second one is assimilation, that is the change on pronunciation based on interaction with neighboring words. And we can check that in the example or when it changed the sounds based on that interaction. Let's take a look at the sentence on the house. On the house. When we separate these three words, we got like the sounds clearly on the house. However, when we get to know a native speaker of this language of English, we can see that they can normally say it like in a house, and they will understand that. And it's something that happens naturally for them, but it's also something that we as non-native speakers we can learn with the proper training. Second is elision, the elision of words. But what is that? Elision is the deletion of a phoneme, and this happens also in a natural way, thanks to the historical uh, development of the language. As you can see here in the slide, we have the word no, no. The phoneme K, it is obviously there. We don't pronounce it. We just pronounce N-O-W, no, those sounds. But the phoneme K, we don't even mention it. And this is something really important, as in Spanish, we tend to we tend to pronounce every single consonant and vowel, and we read the word in the way it is written. But in English, it is totally different. Also, it happens with this expression like in it, that is very common in the United Kingdom. It's just a way to say isn't it. It's the deletion of the letter S in the phoneme, in this phoneme. And it's something that also as educators, we have to take into account. This one is also really important, which is linking, or in French, liaison. It is joining the sounds for fluent speech. Look at the example. If we read it like this, we would not sound like very natural, or a person would think that we are beginners in the language. That happens. When we read the sentence, it is an interesting story. As you can see, when we separate the phonemes, it is obvious that I'm reading, that I am trying to pronounce it well. But when you come to talk to a native speaker, you can perfectly listen him saying like, it's an interesting story. The first four words, or the first three words are linked. It's a link sound, all right? Also, it is very common for them. Next, we go with rhythm, which is the regular succession of weak and strong stresses, accents, sounds, or movements. Not all the language has this, but in English, it's quite important to have a good rhythm along with the intonation of this. Also, the intonation is the variation of the pitch that it really can change the meaning of the words. Despite we say the same words, it can change the meaning totally. Look at those two sentences. The one I am going to read it in a way, and the second one in a different way. All right. The first one is you did. I use an intonation, but in the other one will be like you did. It's something really different. And despite I'm using the same words, just by changing the intonation of what I'm saying, the meaning changes totally. In English, sometimes we say a word in a different tones and the meaning does not change, as in other languages like Chinese or Thai, like the same, the two letters M and A with different intonation can mean like 4 or 5 different words. But in English, we don't have that problem. The problem, it's on meaning. It's on meaning. So we have to be careful with that when teaching our kids how to use a good intonation and the selection of words. So let's continue.
Okay, now we have techniques for teaching pronunciation. As teacher, it's really important to bring to our classes activities whose target is to improve pronunciation. First of all, we have chants or songs. This kind of activity is attractive for students since it is easier to catch their attention. By singing a song, you will encourage students to repeat and also memorize the pronunciation of words. By using a song, you do not limit the practice only in classroom, but at any time, thanks to the memorization of the song. Also, we have pronunciation cards, which are helpful, especially for those who learn through visualization. By using the cards, you are showing them how to pronounce correctly. Rhythm games are the best for repetitions since the idea of this is using patterns. These patterns can be also attractive for students. Then we have Whisper Challenge that can encourage students to use their best pronunciation and vocalization in order to be understood. Last one, we have that vocalization leads us to tongue twisters. To be successful in tongue twisters, students have to train the movement of their tongue. Let's remember that it is important to know some positions of our tongue that has to have in order to reach the correct pronunciation. Let's move on.
Okay, for the next part, we are going to talk about some tasks that we can use to teach pronunciation or to help our students to improve their pronunciation. One thing about pronunciation is that we cannot teach pronunciation without using the other skills. So that's why all activities involve the use, or it could be listening, it could be speaking, and any other skill. Pronunciation is never taught by itself. That's why the first task is storytelling. With storytelling, the first thing that there are two things that we can help our students to improve. The first one is composition, and because when we do storytelling, it could be for them to read a story or to create a story and then share. Besides pronunciation, we also help them to we encourage them to use their skills. Then we have mimicry and tongue twister. These two tasks help us or help our students to improve the articulation of the sounds and to have awareness of how they pronounce and with what type of articulation they use while speaking. And then we have minimal prayers. Doing minimal prayers or combining similar words, similar sound words, help them to focus on to have awareness when they are talking on their or listening to words that sound similar and to have a concern about the context and the type of word and the meaning of the words. Well, now focusing on tongue twisters, if we show a children this image with phonetic sounds, phonetic symbols, probably they won't know how to respond or how to read the words that are in the chart. Why? Because it's hard to teach grammar rules by image to children. So what we can do is, what we can do when we want to teach a tongue twister is to follow a procedure. The first step of this procedure is to encourage them by showing that we can do it too. We teachers try to read and show our capacity to them so they will be able to feel motivated to do it. Then next step is, as I said before, children learn easier by listening. So what we can do is to show a video or an audio of the tongue twister so they can hear and try to memorize and then repeat the sounds that they hear. Probably in the first listening, they will be confused because they feel like, okay, this is kind of difficult, but before several tries, they will be able, maybe not to read, but to imitate the sounds that they hear in an order. Yes. And then the next part, when they have listening and have repeat, they memorize, they could be able to read the tongue twister, maybe projected on the board or written in the board. So it's like Everything is a procedure following the capacities that children have. And that's it for today. Thank you.